It was a bright Saturday morning. Parents were bustling at Urban Girls High School, carrying bags, mosquito nets, and provisions. Among them was Mama Annabel, a proud widow who had saved every kobo from her Accra business to send her only daughter, Annabel, to boarding school. Annabel was 17. Tall, slim, with the kind of beauty that made people say, "You will marry a governor." As she hugged her mother before entering the hostel, Mama Annabel whispered, "My daughter, you are my life. Don't forget God. Don't forget where you come from." Annabel smiled, tears in her eyes. "I won't, Mama." She didn't know those would be the last normal words she'd speak to her mother for a very long time. That first week, the hostel seniors were unusually quiet. Too quiet. On the 7th night, at exactly midnight, a soft bell rang through the dormitory. Annabel woke up. So did her bunkmate, Olivia, and 3 other new girls. A senior girl in a short uniform stood at the door. "New girls. Follow me." No noise. They obeyed. The corridor was dark. Too dark. The kind of dark that feels alive. They were led to the back of the hostel, to an old and used classroom with broken windows. Inside, 7 candles burned in a circle. On the floor was a wooden box, small enough to carry, but heavy with presents. The senior girl spoke softly. "Every girl who stays in this hostel must meet Mama. If you don't, you won't last here." She opened the box. Annabel peered inside. It wasn't empty. Inside was a tiny pair of black shoes. Children's shoes. And as the candlelight flickered, the shoes moved. On their own. Annabel's heart slammed against her chest. Olivia grabbed her hand. "Jesus Christ," she whispered. The senior hissed. "Never call that name here." The shoes began to squeak against the wood as if a child was walking in place. Then a voice, soft, young, but heavy, filled the room. "Whose child will walk with me this term?" Annabel's blood went cold. The senior pointed to the new girls. "One of you must touch the shoes. Whoever does will be safe." No one moved. The voice came again, firmer. "Whose child will walk with me?" Before Annabel could think, Olivia pushed her forward. "Touch it." Her fingers brushed the leather. The shoes stopped moving. The candles went out. And in the darkness, the voice whispered directly in her ear. "Your mother should have washed your feet with rainwater before you came here." Annabel screamed. The senior girl struck a match and relit one candle. Annabel was still shaking, her hand cold as ice. The senior smiled. "Congratulations. Mama has chosen you." She closed the wooden box. The shoes stopped moving, but Annabel could still feel something crawling around her toes. The girls were escorted back to the hostel. No one spoke. Not even Olivia, who now avoided looking at Annabel. That night, as she lay in her bunk, Annabel felt it. A soft, tiny hand holding her foot. She kicked. Nothing. It came again. Cold. Small. Gripping her ankle gently. "Your mother should have washed your feet with rainwater." The voice whispered again, this time from under the bed. Annabel covered her head with the blanket and prayed silently. But with every word she prayed, she felt the small hand tighten. By the 2nd week, Annabel wasn't the same. Her friends said she walked differently. Her steps sounded like 2 people were walking at once. Sometimes at night, her bunk would creak even when she was lying still. The matron noticed her bed sheets were always wet in the morning, but it wasn't urine. It was clear water, dripping from her feet as if she had stepped out of a river. Olivia confronted her in the bathroom one afternoon. "What did you see in that box that night?" Annabel's eyes were dull. "It's not what I saw," she whispered. "It's what followed me." Olivia frowned. "Followed you from where?" Annabel lifted her foot. Between her toes was mud. Dark, wet mud. But she hadn't left the hostel in 2 weeks. One Sunday evening, Annabel wrote a letter to her mother. "Mama, please, when you come next visiting day, Bring rainwater in a calabash. Don't ask me why. Just do it. Wash my feet before I go back to hostel. Mama, please don't forget. She sealed the letter and gave it to a day student to post. That night, she heard the voice again, soft, almost sad. Your mother won't save you now. I've already worn your steps. She woke up with blisters on her heels, and the sound of tiny footsteps pacing under her bed. Visiting day finally came. The compound was full of parents carrying coolers of jollof and crates of malt. Annabel sat at a corner patiently waiting for her mother. Mama Annabel came early, smiling proudly as she hugged her daughter. My baby. You are looking so fine and well fed. Annabel didn't smile back. Mama, did you bring it? Bring what? The rainwater. The calabash. Mama, please tell me you brought it. Her mother's smile faded. Ah, I thought it was a joke. Rain no even fall since last week. What is the rainwater for, if I may ask? Annabel stepped back, her face draining of color. Behind her, in the middle of the noisy hostel yard, she heard it. Tiny footsteps. But only she could hear. The voice whispered again. Your mother should have washed your feet. Her mother staring at her in shock. Are you sure you are fine? She asked again. That night, after visiting day, the hostel was unusually quiet. Annabel lay awake, staring at her feet in the dim glow of the corridor bulb. Every few seconds, she felt it, a faint tickle between her toes, like someone's breath. Then the sound came again. Not outside. Not under the bed. Inside her head. Olivia, who shared the bunk, turned to her and whispered, Annabel, why is your bed moving? Annabel's voice trembled. Because I'm not the only one on it. Olivia sat up. In the corner of the room, near the cupboard, two small wet footprints appeared on the cement floor. They moved, slowly, towards the bed. Olivia screamed. The other girls woke up, switching on torches and phones. But the prints were already climbing onto the mattress. By morning, Annabel couldn't stand. Her feet were blistered, covered in mud and tiny scratches, as if someone had been lacing them with threads overnight. The hostel matron gasped when she saw her. Child, who did this to you? Annabel didn't answer. She was staring at her own school sandals by the locker. They were damp. And inside them was a tiny pair of black shoes. The same shoes from the wooden box. And they were moving. The matron screamed and ran to the principal's office. By the time they returned with other staff, the shoes were gone. But Annabel's footprints now looked smaller. Just like the footprints of a child. Her mother was called immediately. Hello, madam. The hostel mistress called out. We need you to come to the school with immediate effect. When Mama Annabel arrived, she fell to her knees crying at the sight of her daughter's legs. What is the meaning of this? The school principal stammered. We don't know. We've never seen anything like it. Annabel held her mother's hand, tears streaming down her face. Mama, go home. Collect rainwater. Before next full moon. Wash my feet. Before it's too late. Her mother nodded frantically. I will do it. But please talk to me. What is happening, my child? Annabel looked down at her toes. Between them, mud dripped steadily onto the floor. She whispered softly, more to herself than anyone. She's already learning how to walk in my steps. Mama Annabel left that same day, running barefoot through the bus park as if her life depended on it. For 2 days, she waited for rain. She stood outside, praying, calling on God and her ancestors. On the 3rd day, the sky finally darkened. Rain came down heavy, cold, and fast. She filled a calabash and wrapped it in white cloth, whispering her daughter's name over the water. Annabel, walk back to me. She traveled overnight to Enugu, holding the calabash like it was her own heartbeat. The school matron met her at the gate. Madam, this fetish things are not allowed in this school. You have to stop right there. Mama Annabel pushed past her and ran to the hostel. Annabel was sitting on the bed, quiet. Her eyes were open, as she couldn't sleep, hoping for her mother to make it back in time. Her feet were muddy, small, childlike. For a girl of 17. Her school sandals sat beside her, with the tiny black shoes tucked neatly inside. Mama dropped to her knees, crying, "My daughter. I brought the rainwater." She grabbed Annabel's feet, and as she wanted to pour the water on her, little did she know that it was part of the ritual. The school matron ran toward her, dragging the calabash with her. It flew up and landed on the senior girl's head, who disappeared. Annabel got herself. Mama Annabel was very angry. "Oh, see what you have caused now, the water I have waited for days to fetch. What am I going to do now?" she cried. The lights in the hostel went off. Every window slammed shut. The girls screamed. From the floor, tiny wet footprints appeared. Not one pair. Not two. Dozens. They circled Mama and Annabel. And then, a voice filled the room. Soft. Young. But heavy as stone. "She has worn the steps too long. You cannot wash what is already walking." The matron and other staff stood frozen at the doorway. Mama Annabel sobbed and held her daughter tighter. "Please. Take me instead. Leave my child." The voice giggled, a sound too sweet and too wrong. The footprints rushed towards Mama Annabel, who shouted, "The blood of Jesus." The senior girl appeared with her mother, who was in red. It happened to be the senior girl in the hostel who chooses a girl to sacrifice to her mother from the hostel. And every year the school lost one female student. But that year she did not succeed because the rainwater was poured on her and she was the sacrifice. When the lights came back, Annabel was lying on the bed, crying softly. Her feet were back to normal. Her eyes became normal again. Her mother hugged Annabel tightly, and then she packed her bags as they left the school premises, never returning to the boarding school again. She told the story to anyone who would listen. Before you send your child to boarding school, make sure you pray over every step they will take. Because not every school only teaches books. One by one, many parents came to the school to pick their children, and in no time the school became deserted.